Have you ever wondered what kind of people wrote this beautiful classical music in the past?
Welcome to our music history video. We'll give you a brief introduction of composers from Baroque, classical, and Romantic eras.
A composer is a person who writes music. Most composers wrote music when they were still very young.
In this video, we'll be singing 6 composer songs based on their famous work. The lyrics were added for educational purposes only.
We will start with Handel,
one of the greatest Baroque composers. Handel was born in 1685 in Germany. At the age of 11, he played 4 instruments: harpsichord, organ, violin, and oboe. Handel wanted to be a musician, but his father did not approve it. So when he was young, he practiced music secretly at the attic of his house when his father was not around.
Stop! Your father is coming!
After his father died, Handel played violin in orchestra and also composed operas in Germany, Italy, and England. He led the orchestra and opera singers at the Royal Academy of Music in London. In 1717, Handel composed modern music and had about 50 musicians perform it by the boat. His famous work, Handel Messiah with Hallelujah Chorus, is the most popular works in choral music even nowadays. He also composed the royal fireworks for outdoor festivals and celebrations. Besides Handel, other famous Baroque composers are Vivaldi, Corelli, Purcell, and Bach. The classical period came right after the Baroque era. The best-known composers from this period are Haydn and Mozart. Haydn was born in 1732 in Austria. When he was young, he sang in a boy choir. He was a court musician working for Esterhazy's family in Hungary for 30 years. Welcome to the Esterhazy family. This is Your Highness. Now play some music.
In London, he wrote some of his best-known work, including the Surprise Symphony.
Haydn also conducted symphonies in London.
Haydn was known as the father of the symphony and the father of the string quartet.
Symphony means a big orchestra, and a string quartet means 4 strings, instruments, 2 violins, a viola, and a cello.
Did you know Haydn was one of Mozart's teachers and they were good friends? Haydn and Mozart often met in Vienna and played string quartets together. Haydn on violin and Mozart on viola. Haydn also composed Emperor's Hymn, now known as the national anthem of Germany. Mozart was born in 1756 in Salzburg, Austria. He began performing and composing music at an early age. He is known as a child prodigy and a genius composer. Mozart traveled across Europe with his father and sister. He played both music in public and private events. He eventually settled in Vienna and composed music until his death at the age of 35. Mozart found composing an easy thing to do. He wrote over 600 works during his short life. His music is filled with wonderful melodies and a variety of moods and feelings.
Mozart wrote 41 symphonies, and his last symphony is known as the Jupiter Symphony.
Mozart spoke more than 10 languages, including German, French, English, Dutch, and Italian.
Mozart had a very witty and humorous personality. Sometimes his jokes were childish and offensive. What happened? Why did you stop?
I reversed factions.
What's he doing? What happened?
From about 1800 to 1910, the Western music entered into a new era, the Romantic period. A very famous composer, Beethoven, served as bridge between classical and Romantic musics. Beethoven was born in 1777 in Germany.
His grandfather and his father were both musicians.
In 1792, he moved to Vienna and studied with Haydn. Some of his famous workers are Moonlight Sonata, For Else, and Ode to Joy.
His third symphony, called Eroica Symphony, was originally dedicated to Napoleon. When Beethoven was about 28 years old, he noticed difficulties with his hearing. By the time he was 45, he was totally deaf and could not hear anything, but he continued to write music. Because of his deafness,
He was unhappy and had a bad temper.
Therefore, Beethoven's music have dramatic lighting and emotional intensity. I can't hear anything.
are you okay? Now we'll talk about two more famous composers from the Romantic era,
Schubert and Tchaikovsky.
Schubert was born in 1797 in Austria. His whole family was musical.
His father taught him violin and his older brother taught him piano. His father was a schoolmaster. When Schubert turned 17, he started teaching in his father's school. Schubert wrote music very fast. Sometimes he wrote as many as 8 songs in one day.
Oh, hey friends, what are you doing?
I'm writing music.
And I'm done.
You done already?
Yep, I just wrote 5 songs.
What? So fast!
I'm really fast.
He lived a short 31 years, but he wrote over 600 songs. He did finish up his last song before he died, Unfinished Symphony.
2 daughters of Countess Rosie took piano lessons from Schubert.
During that time, Schubert wrote his famous piano duet for these two girls,
Which are known as Military March.
Tchaikovsky was born in 1840 in Russia.
He was composing music as early as age 5, but he'd studied law and worked for the government.
At the age 22, he quit his job and began studying music.
He had a wealthy patron who granted lots of money to support his music. He wrote famous music for the ballet, The Nutcracker, and Swan Lake. He also composed 1812 Overture to celebrate the victory of the war.
In 1891, he was invited to New York to conduct Carnegie Hall.
By now, why were all these famous composers male? This is because the Western culture back then was highly male-dominated.
Women were not allowed to do many things. Instead of writing symphonies for a big orchestra, women composers wrote simple songs for small recitals.
Some great women composers in history are Clara Sherman and Fanny Mendelssohn.
We only looked at 6 composers in this video, but there are many more great composers in history.
Composers express their ideas and feelings through music.
There is no doubt that these great composers influenced the modern music.